Welcome to the official housing market podcast of the Massachusetts Association of Realtors. My name is Eric Berman, and I am your host and the association's communications director. I am joined today by our 2017 president, Paul Yorkis. Paul is the president of Patriot Real Estate in Medway. Welcome, Paul, to your first housing market podcast as 2017 president to discuss our December and 2016 year-end housing numbers.
Eric, I'm delighted to be here.
So, Paul, the first question I have to ask is both single-family and condominium closed sales went down in December. Any thoughts on why?
Well, Eric, this is a very unusual time in the real estate industry for many reasons. Inventory continues to be historically low, yet demand is extremely high. We have uncertainty because of the new presidential administration and because of Congress, and we're not sure what the impact is going to be yet on the Fed raising interest rates. We are in a market where there are multiple offers on many properties, often higher than the asking price, and then when you add into that we have a very strong economy here in Massachusetts, the unemployment rate's the lowest since the year 2000. It's definitely a seller's market, and that benefits those sellers who don't need to buy after they sell their property.
Okay, so let's look back at the entire year. Both sales and prices were up. Despite that, up and down of the third and fourth quarters, what are your thoughts? Well,
we had some very significant gains in the first two quarters of 2016. In fact, the mild winter in 2016 meant that the spring home buying season started on January 1. I know most people think of a spring market. In reality, as soon as January 1 hit in 2016, people were out there buying. 2016 was a robust year for Massachusetts real estate, no matter what area of the state you lived in. Home price appreciation was really helped a lot, really helped homeowners a lot, and home sellers who were underwater after the bubble burst to get back in a positive equity situation. And that was one of the good things that happened as a result of a good market in 2016.
Okay, so let's touch base about prices, as you mentioned just a second ago. So they're up in both December and for the year. Is there anything that you could see that could reverse this trend?
Boy, that's a good question. Massachusetts has been and continues to be a very desirable state to live in, and I really don't see that changing anytime soon, Eric. Right now we have an economy based upon knowledge workers, people who work in high-tech industry, in the biopharmaceutical area, the really people whose brain power is very valued, and those jobs pay well, and it allows them to pay the prices that are being asked in the greater Boston area. Interest rates right now are beginning to creep up, but when that happens, that has an impact on prices going down. So historically, when interest rates are high, prices are lower. When prices are high, interest rates are lower. That might not happen this time, but I do know our most significant concern right now and all of last year, significant lack of inventory of all housing types.
Okay, so let's stay on this track of inventory. It has been down forever, as it seems. Are there any solutions?
Well, there are solutions, but they're not solutions which are going to result in a quick fix. In December of 2016, inventory was down, and it was down nearly 36% from December of 2015. That's significant. There are a few reasons that we've spoken about in the past, and there are probably some new ones. The biggest question we get from our seller clients right now is, where am I going to go if I do sell my home? What am I going to move into? And I hear people saying, well, if I sell my home, I'll go live in my vacation home, or if I sell my home, I can figure it out by staying with my children. That's not a long-term answer. The overall issue is, can we continue to sustain the housing market that we have now? And I think it's pretty hard because we just don't have enough inventory. People are saying to themselves, you know what? I can't buy what I want at the price I want to pay. I'm going to invest in my current home. I'm going to add, make an addition to it, or I'll do some renovations. I'll update my kitchen. I'll redo the bathrooms the way I always wanted to. That's one of the things that's happening. But I can say to you, without any hesitation, that the Massachusetts Association of Realtors are going to continue to do everything we can to push legislation that will increase the number of home ownership opportunities, both in single-family homes and condominium homes, and we also are advocating for more apartments to be built in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Paul. And also for our listeners, if you want to find more information about our legislative priorities, including what Paul just mentioned, you can definitely go to our website, marealtor.com/government affairs, to find out more. Now, Paul, on to the last question for our podcast this month, and I wanted to ask you about our December Realtor Member Survey, and specifically the hot topic question. For the final survey of 2016, we did ask our Realtor members to select the issue or the real estate story of the year. So can you talk about what that was?
Yep. Very easy. Record low inventory of homes for sale. And that's not just single-family homes. That's condominiums. And that's not just in the Boston metropolitan area. That's across the Commonwealth. That was by far the overwhelming response from the realtors who responded to the survey. Number two, there's concern about the end of historically low interest rates. And number three, which is kind of an inside baseball story, the new closing procedures. That the new closing procedures for realtors and for attorneys and lenders, yeah, that was a concern. Consumers, not so much.
Okay, Paul. Well, that's it. That's all I have. I look forward to speaking with you on our next podcast to talk about the January 2017 housing numbers.
Thanks so much, Eric.